This is Orlando Sentinel Now.
Hello and welcome. It's Thursday, December 16th, and this is Orlando Sentinel Now. Today, we're talking about the presence of the Omicron variant here in Orange County, plus eggnog and coquito, where you can find them throughout Central Florida, and what varieties you can find too. I'm your host, Joe Mario Pedersen, and joining me today, I have Orange County government reporter Ryan Gillespie and our food columnist, Amy Drew Thompson. Thank you both so much for being here today. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Ryan, coming to you first here. Omicron has become the predominant variant found in Orange County's wastewater testing. When the presence of this was first detected earlier in the month, this is something we may have been waiting to find out more about. What have we learned so far?
Yeah, it was a little bit of surprising news, at least in my view, yesterday from Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings.
The test confirmed with certainty that Omicron is rapidly becoming the prevalent variant found in all three of Orange County's wastewater treatment plants. However, I will again reiterate that the Delta variant was still seen, but in smaller proportions. And our hospitals are still reporting that Delta is what is infecting most of the persons who are being hospitalized.
So a bunch of the local governments, like Orange County being one of them, Altamont Springs being another, do this wastewater surveillance, and essentially what it is they collect a sampling of the wastewater that goes through their treatment sites, and there's a way you can test it and essentially look for various mutations of COVID-19 that is shed by people whose wastewater goes into these plants essentially. And what it does is it's a way to predict basically future behavior of the virus transmission. So before we had the Delta surge in the summer, we kind of got this alarming news from Orange County that there was like this astronomical amount of the Delta variant, and lo and behold, a week or two later, it showed up in our hospitals and things like that. At some level, that's what's happening here. I don't know what kind of real world impacts this will have in terms of like hospitalizations and stuff like that, and a lot of that is because we just don't know that much about Omicron yet. There are some indications in the study that it's not as severe as Delta was. I think it's maybe a little early to draw sweeping conclusions. That's certainly what the experts say. But yeah, it swiftly went from undetected in Orange County and in Central Florida to the predominant variant in like a week. So yeah, that happens fast.
So to clarify on that, Ryan, when we're talking about the predominant variant, that's what we're observing in wastewater. Is that what we're seeing in hospitalizations as well?
No, it's certainly this weird kind of spot that we're in right now where the wastewater sampling is showing Omicron is the predominant variant. There is still some Delta, but it's lo and behold, like most of it is this Omicron. There is not a single clinical Omicron case that we have discovered, according to the Florida Department of Health. There is nobody hospitalized, as far as we know, with Omicron in the region. And there are, at Orlando Health and Advent Health, I believe the mayor said yesterday there was something like 84 people hospitalized. So it hasn't shown up yet. So typically, wastewater is ahead of clinical. So Dr. Raul Pino said yesterday that if this behaves like other strands have, then maybe next week will be the week that we have like a documented Omicron case. That's sort of guesswork. Who knows? But yeah, as of now, it's the predominant in the wastewater, but none in clinical. So it's just kind of something to watch.
Ryan, wanted to talk to you about infection rates and wondering how the county has been doing, I guess, now compared to where we were last year.
Yeah, it's certainly something I've actually been thinking about, because yesterday I actually marked the 1 year anniversary of the first vaccines being given in Orange County. And something that jumped out to me from Dr. Pino's comments yesterday is last December, there were about 200 people died in Orange County with COVID-19. A lot of people. It's not our deadliest month, but it's up there. So far this month, today's the 16th, yesterday was the 15th, we're halfway through the month. 2 people have died. What's different from last year to this year? We have vaccines, and 78% of people 12 years and older at least have one shot. 68% of people 5 years and older have completed their vaccine series. I don't think that includes boosters. So there is pretty compelling evidence in just there that these vaccines are working to prevent severe disease, hospitalization, and death. And there are boosters available now all over the place. Basically any pharmacy you want to go to in the county, Barnett Park that the county runs, among other kind of pop-up sites as well that you can get before the holidays to boost your antibody count before you're gathering with people.
Some really compelling information there, Ryan. If you're all interested in finding out more, be sure to take a look at Ryan's work available right now at orlandosentinel.com. Ryan, thank you so much. All right, Amy Drew, I want to come over to you now. It's the holidays, and with that comes, of course, tasty treats, tasty snacks, drinks. I want to talk to you specifically about eggnog and coquito, which, as you pointed out, December is the month for eggnog, or it's the official month for eggnog, but the official day for coquito is coming up. Before we explore that, and if anyone in my Latin side of the family is watching this, they may roll their eyes at me for this next question, but for the sake of journalism and the uninitiated, what is coquito?
Coquito is a Puerto Rican coconut-based drink that is consumed around Christmas time.
Okay,
And that's
so
really it. I usually you
Right.
spike it with rum. I mean, that's it. That's it. It's not eggnog. It's compared to eggnog a lot because they're both creamy. You're often going to see nutmeg and cinnamon on top. You're often going to see booze in it. But in Puerto Rico, that booze is rum, generally speaking. And there is no coconut in eggnog. So they are two different drinks.
Well, there you go. All right. So for those who haven't tried coquito before and maybe they're interested in doing so for the first time, or those looking for some eggnog snacks, focusing on snacks here, where might they be able to find some around Central Florida?
Oh my gosh, coquito is everywhere. And if you have any friends who make it, then you've known that since the summertime because that's when people start hitting you up for your empty booze bottles. Hey man, I gotta, start building those up because people bring them to parties. They bring it as gifts. They give it out at Christmas. So there's always coquito getting passed around in these recycled liquor bottles, right? But you can also infuse those flavors into a lot of things. And so a lot of people do that this time of year. So for coquito, we have coquito coffees at Create Coffee and Studio in Mills 50. And they also have a his and hers, or his and his, or his and whoever's going with a friend. And it's twofer eggnog latte or eggnog cappuccino, I'm sorry, for Mr. and Mrs. Claus. So they've got these two very fun holiday drinks, and those are going to go probably, I think, through mid-January, if I'm not mistaken. But the coquito with the shot of espresso in it is super popular. And a few people have suggested to me, don't get it iced, just bring it home and put some rum in it. So, there's a little pro tip if you want to take it home and consume it leaded, which they don't have at Create. Right in that same neighborhood, if you're going for dinner or you want some cocktails or even a dessert, because I think this one goes both ways, at Bites and Bubbles, just up the road, you can get an eggnog martini, which the folks over there have told me people have been enjoying by the outdoor fire pits. Has been a little unseasonably warm lately, but you can still enjoy one up on the roof over there. And that's it's boozy and it's desserty and it's delicious. And it comes with a chocolate covered marshmallow on top. So you can't complain about that.
Amy Drew, I do want to ask you about one item in your story that's a bit more on the expensive side of things, but sounds really delicious. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, and this is for the month of December, so I'm not sure if they're booked up yet, but at Soseki Modern Omakase, sous chef Kevin Manila came up with a cookies and milk dessert course that features coquito and these beautiful Mexican wedding cookies. And I'm not really sure what fruit they have going in them this week because they're always working with whatever's fresh, but you have this beautiful coquito served with cookies and you can kind of consume that course. Of course, that course comes with the other 12 to 18 courses. So if you want to try that coquito, it's going to run you a little bit north of $200.
Yeah, if you're looking to go big for a Christmas gift this year, I'd say go with that. If you're looking for more affordable alternatives, take a look at Amy Drew's column on this, available at orlandosentinel.com. Amy Drew, thanks a lot.
Always fun.
All right, before we all leave you today, we do want to talk about Thursday's weather presented by Premier Sotheby's International Realty. Central Florida is looking at another warm day this time with a slim chance of rain. The high Thursday is expected to reach 81 degrees in Orlando, with the low falling to 66 in the evening. As for Thursday rain chances, the forecast is set at about 10% throughout the day. Low chances of rain through the weekend, and temperature lows should be at about the mid 60s with highs in the low 80s and high 70s toward the beginning of next week. As Amy Drew had mentioned, it has been unseasonably warm recently, but that should change at the start of next week with at Tuesday, temperature lows visiting the 50s. So get ready for that. Also, shower odds are expected to bounce up that Tuesday up to about 50%. So if you're looking to make plans or more information on that, be sure to take a look at orlandosentinel.com, where of course you can get caught up on the stories that we talked about here today and so much more. If you're a subscriber to the Orlando Sentinel, thank you so much for supporting our work and supporting local journalism. If you want to become a supporter, or hey, if you're looking for a gift, subscriptions are a great gift, the gift of news. It's really easy to do so. All you need to do is visit orlandosentinel.com/subscribe. But as for OSN, that will do it for us today. A big thank you to Ryan and Amy Drew for keeping us filled in what's going on in our community. We'll be back again with more news tomorrow at noon. We'll see you then. Stay healthy and stay safe.
Watch Orlando Sentinel Now live every weekday at noon on our Facebook page and on orlandosentinel.com.